Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at this, I guess it's more of a Lugable than a laptop. It's a Toshiba T3100, and I picked this up at a thrift store for a very reasonable $12. Unfortunately it doesn't completely work, but we'll take a look at that in a second. This machine off the bat, it has a 286 in it. Kind of weird because it's not a very common 286. It's an 8 megahertz 286, but I think it's running at 7.16 megahertz. But it's an 8 megahertz 286. That's the first 286 that came out, and from what I can tell and what I've read, it's pretty uncommon. Supposedly there's some key combination that will actually cut the speed down to, I think, 4.12 megahertz for compatibility. Although it's still a 286, so it's still going to be running faster than an 8088, so speed-sensitive games, it's not going to help so much. But as for what that key combination is, I can't find it. It's not in the manual. It didn't state, at least not the one I could find online. It just said that there is a keyboard key combination. But it has a 10 megahertz hard drive in there, which is pretty big for the time. I'm not sure when this came out exactly. I'm guessing late 80s. I'm pretty sure it's probably an MFM drive. MFM, yeah. Anyways, if we turn it around, look on the back, there is no battery. It does require a power cord, so it's not really a true laptop. Let's see, got that neat handle and stand. And what we have here, we have a serial port, and we have a printer port, and over here it says RGB. Really what it is though, that's not a VGA port. That's going to be for a CGA monitor. So it does hook up to an external CGA monitor, but VGA is not going to work. The pin's different, it's a 9-pin port. And dip switches to set things like, you have to set if you're outputting to this, or you have to set it for the memory. I think built in, it has 640 kilobytes of RAM, but you can expand it. It's a weird number. It's like 2.6 megabytes. So, all right. So open it up. Just press that in, and there we go. So, pretty nice keyboard. Screen it's an amber screen and it's gas plasma, which is pretty neat. Unfortunately, this machine, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I'm going to plug it in. The screen doesn't work. So everything else seems to work except the screen. You can't really see what's going on. Hit the power switch. But if I can read it, like memory test 640 kilobytes, I can kind of read it. Error in CMOS, bad battery. Error in CMOS, bad checksum. Error in CMOS, bad configuration. System check, then press F1. So you can kind of read it, but I don't know if you can see it real well. There's a lot of like lines on the screen. So yeah, we've got a lot of lines on the screen. It's not really working well. I have had this hooked up to the, see, there we go, it's even worse. I have had it hooked up to an external CGA monitor, and that did work. That might be completely dead now. Trippy. Anyways, there is DOS 3.2 installed on the hard drive. So, I mean, other than this screen, it's fully functional, although I think we just witnessed the death of this screen. So that's I guess that's it for it. I mean, like I said, at least like hitting it's gonna work. But yeah, thankfully it does hook up to an external screen. So in that capacity it works completely, but of course it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it as being a portable machine. Oh, there it sort of came back. Let me hit. Oh. Well, I would read that off to you. So you have different options like current time, floppy disk drives. installed it on the side here, which is pretty cool for the time. We have a 720 kilobyte floppy, 3.5-inch floppy disk. On the side there, there isn't a port on the back for an external second drive, and there should be a switch to pick between A and B. System memory, 640 kilobytes. Expansion memory, none. Primary display, 2. Color, that's this. Select settings to change. There we have the disk drive. Yep, 10 megabyte drive. No. Select setup. I don't know. It's really hard to read. Which will. There's no room to add any expansions in it. It is what you get. But I can't even. Something. Select setup change. I don't want to change anything. Oh well. And it's rebooting. Memory test. Ah, there's the hard drive spinning up. And there we go. Oh, no. Looks like DOS 2 point something there. But there we are. I'm at a C prompt. You know, that probably looks better. So, I don't think there's much hope in fixing it, but, you know, it kind of works. It's kind of neat to see. But there we go. That's the Toshiba T3100.